Hi, my name's Dee and welcome to Sunchild Tarot and welcome to your general readings for the sign in the title below because it's a bulk introduction for the supermoon, full moon in Scorpio on the 26th or 27th of month we're in, April, for wherever you are in the world. Here in Britain it's on the 27th, in America it's mainly on the 26th. Now, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the astrology of this because I'll be live streaming 6 p.m. UK time, so 1 p.m. Eastern, 10 a.m. Pacific on YouTube with astrologer David Fisher. We'll go through the astrology then. As ever, general reading rules apply. Timing is not absolute. This is an interesting full moon. I think I tend to look at these readings as looking over the lunar cycle or half lunar cycle, if you know what I mean, from full moon to full moon, rather than new to new. So we'll see how long that they last. You should hopefully pick up the energies from them. If someone else appears in the readings, roles can get reversed. Doesn't very often happen in the spread that I'm using. But as I say, timing is far from absolute is the main point here. So, as ever, I would like you to hit that like button if you like the reading, or if you like the video even. No, the reading might not be so hot. And feel free to subscribe to the channel while you're here because it really does help. I think that's it for my housekeeping. The reason I do a bulk introduction with a timestamp in the description below so that you can fast forward to the reading, don't do it yet, is I would like to watch your sun, your moon and your rising. And you don't need to listen to me waffle 3 times over. You know what I mean? So there is a timestamp below if you're wanting to fast forward if this is your second or third time round. And there is a link to the Facebook page for this channel where I post these videos, obviously, because I do not trust YouTube notifications. But I also post the weather report style astrology YouTube videos that I watch, so you can learn along with me, and I try to make it a bit of a one-stop shop. So anyway, I think that's everything. Oh yeah, if you don't know your moon or your rising sign, there's a link down there for a free, well, there's 2 links, free birth charts, AstroSeek or Cafe Astrology. I'm now tending more towards using the AstroSeek just because I know what I'm doing a little bit more, and there's so much you can get the chart to be presented the way you want it to be. So this full moon, it's an interesting one. It's ruled by the angel Jeliel. 7 degrees Scorpio is ruled by the angel Jeliel, who represents recapturing the spark and love and wisdom. Now that recapturing the spark could mean the passion for a project, a field of research, or a person, you know, so there is that whole romantic element to it. There is a lot of, if you look into the positions of the planets and the degrees that they're holding and the degree symbols and what have you, there is a lot of sexual energy in this full moon, which figures with us just coming off the back of that Venus-Uranus conjunction, although again, that's about more than just relationships and sex lives. But what I've also found is interesting is the relationship to other new moons. Being in Scorpio, it represents transformation. Now, the moon, if my notes are correct, is in its fall in Scorpio anyway. But it's also, being in Scorpio, traditionally ruled by Mars. And Mars is just gone into Cancer. So the moon and Mars are in mutual reception. They're amping each other up. So I think there's any transformations that are begun more under or that are ongoing, I think it would be an even better way to put it, will have that little bit extra oomph. Now, Scorpio under modern rulership is ruled by Pluto. As we know, Pluto's still in Capricorn. But 7 degrees Scorpio is the site of the Pluto of harmonic convergence, which, if you know your hippie woo-woo, then that was a big event in the late, oh, I didn't write the date down, 87, 88, where there was this opening of all new energies coming onto the planet. So I think it's quite significant where this full moon is potentially giving us a chance to actually use those energies now. We've had plenty enough time since the 80s, late 80s, to assimilate to them. It's about time we use them. And also, the other thing I noticed is that it's on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter. Now, there was something else that was like really hocus pocusy with this full moon. Now, I didn't write it down. I've forgotten what it was. But I would imagine this full moon would be great for full moon rituals. However, watch every single astrology forecast video I've posted on that YouTube page first. Do your research. Make sure that what you would be magically working towards, creatively visualizing, sat with a candle, what have you, is in line with the astrological energies that are there. Because I notice the closer we get to the full moon, the astrologers' descriptions of this full moon are getting nicer and nicer. And there are some beautiful aspects to it. But there are also some quite traumatic aspects as well. So be careful what you ask for, because you might just get it. I think it's the, sometimes the genie is best left in the bottle. That's something that I think you really need to pay some attention to. Myself, I'm not planning any hocus pocus for the full moon this time. I'm just going to sit and let, I suppose the phrase would be trust the process. Allow the transformation energies to unfurl. Because for me, I was alive during harmonic convergence. So for me, this is really, really important. And it being on Aleister Crowley's Jupiter makes me think that magic at this time has a high chance of getting bigger. But it's Crowley, it's double-edged. Do you know what I mean? So you be very, very careful what you ask for. Now, I've also been reading a lot about Franz Barden and the entities he calls the degree heads, who are entities that inhabit each individual degree of the zodiac and can be evoked just like any spiritual entity or magical entity can be evoked, if you know about your evocation. Now, this one is, let me pronounce it correctly, Amelie. Now, Amelie, here's the description, protects man against all infectious diseases and causes him to look after himself so that he is at any time able to resist infection. If karmic reasons make it necessary, or if it lies in one's fate, this head, i.e. the entity Amelie, will not prevent an infection. Amelie teaches the magician many means of protection against the most diverse types of infectious diseases from the magical point of view. Since there exists also the possibility of mental or astral influences, Amelie also instructs the magician in this respect. He teaches him how to protect himself after having been made acquainted with special magical practices against negative astral influences and against influences of negative beings. So if you are going to try any hocus pocus with this full moon, talking to Amelie may not be a bad idea, given the situation of the world at the moment. Negative astral influences, well, let's use the by now tiresome term of fake news. We've already seen what damage fake news can do. And infectious diseases. I wonder what's going on in the world that could relate to that. But apparently I can't say such things on YouTube. So I won't mention even the V word, never mind the C word. Not that it makes the slightest bit of difference to me anyway, because is I am not yet monetized. But you know, I'd like people to see the readings that follow this. Now that is pretty much all that I'm wanting to talk about with the new moon, full moon. Apart from new moon, yes. Now, Scorpio transformation. And there was an aspect between the last new moon, the Aries new moon, and Pluto, which was instigating transformation energies. You know what I was saying about the transformation with the harmonic convergence Pluto? There's that sense of revealing, unveiling, that deeper secrets, deeper truths, deeper realities, stripping things away. Scorpio is also the sign of death and transformation. It is the death card in the tarot. So, as I say, the death card in the tarot is not scary because if you get a job, it's the death of poverty. If you get a relationship, it's a death of loneliness. You know, so death is not necessarily bad, but you're watching a tarot reading anyway. So apart from I'm not using tarot this time. Well, I am a bit. So you know this already. But there was transformation that was triggered by that Aries new moon. Not even triggered as in the seed was sown, but triggered as in, right, here is the energy to start it. Here, we seem to be clearing all the crap out that we found that's in the way of this transformation. It's like deciding to redecorate your kitchen and then you open a cupboard and find that you hadn't emptied it after all, and you need to empty this cupboard before you can do the next bit of work. So this full moon promises to be really, really useful and dramatic. Like I say, we're just coming off that Venus-Uranus conjunction, so I think that may be adding a little bit of spice into our lives one way or another. So, with no further ado, I don't think I've got anything more to add, and I'm trying to cut down these intros since we're doing the live streams. Yeah, the live stream may be shorter. I've said that already, haven't I? So, like, share, subscribe, and I'll bring up your cards. Okay, Virgo, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, North Node, whichever. As you may know, if you've watched these Gods That Play readings before, this top row represents the masks worn by the Archons as they try and repress us, keep us suppressed, keep us vibrating in misery and fear and just general malaise, and not being in touch with our destiny or our higher self or the divine, or however you may envision it. This bottom row is the gods themselves trying to lift you up to that. Now, to just go through the archontic masks, or the gods that the archons are appearing as: Kernunos with shapeshifting, Poseidon with Earthshaker, Hecate with illumination, Fortuna with fate, and Dionysus with merrymaking. The gods on your side, we have Jizo with support, Chiron with healing, and Hecate with crossroads. Notice Hecate on both rows, which is quite interesting. Artemis with individuation, Diti with revenge, and the water nymphs, possibly talking to, I don't think it's Hyacinth, just some Greek hero or other, with feelings. Right, so this is not even just a test. This is the test, Virgo. This is the test of a path that you have been working down, something where you have been trying to heal, and something is going to appear in your world that triggers a lot of what you've been working on in a earth-shaking fashion. It brings up all the feelings into the water that Poseidon rules. And yes, your feelings are something that you need to pay attention to, but you need not be controlled by. You have a mission, which is Hahel here. And you know what that mission is, because interestingly, the Goetic spirit opposing Hahel on this card is the spirit Focolor, who is representing the disregarding of rules. And I think you may have already set yourself rules, an agreement that you've already gone into with yourself that you're going to do your way. But whatever this thing that is that comes up, it's almost like you are tempted to take revenge. That's what DT is saying. But it also points out that you can... Now, I didn't quite understand the symbol that I was getting. DT wanted a child to beat Indra. Only Indra hit her with a thunderbolt, and it split her embryo in the womb up into 49 separate entities. But, so, square of the number 7. But that division seems like a good thing here, because DT here is on your side. So it's not that you're to go out there and get revenge, because for one thing, what you see that is so triggering for you is not quite how it appears. And the spotlight is drawn to it, but you are taking a chance if you even get involved. So I would say that my own thought would be, don't get involved. But that's not going to be easy. Now, I'm not saying that not getting involved is you passing the test. That's my own judgment that I'm putting on these cards. The cards don't say one way or another. Maybe you should get involved, but split your efforts into lots of little efforts that put, press a button here and flip a switch there and say one fact to one person just so that they know something, and start dominoes falling. But don't fall into some form of party trap, something that offers enjoyment, festival, happiness, but is a step backwards, because you have come so far here. Certainly with Chiron, here he's feeling it's pre his wounding. I'm seeing him as the healer and teacher, not as the wounded healer. And Hecate here, of course, here on your side, you have Hecate as Mother Maiden Crone, the power of 3. So she is going to support you in whatever you choose. But she is also highlighting, as according to the will of the Archons as well, but that's Hecate for you. She is highlighting this earth-shaking event that's not quite what it appears to be. I mean, it does look like it appears to be very, very heartbreaking. 3 of Swords, clarifying Poseidon here. But you can see a good solution. Both of those things are lies. However that heartbreak is taken on board, that heartbreak in and of itself is based on a lie. So maybe your heart doesn't need to be broken. It's just something appears a certain way. By sticking to traditional old rules, it appears a certain way. And those traditional old rules are getting in your way. However, you have support, you have assistance. If this is the 3 of Cups, no, we've got the High Priestess. The intuition, the ability to... Oh, now these tarot cards are good for you. Yeah, so Hecate is illuminating this thing that initially causes you heartbreak. But bear in mind, she's drawing your attention to it because it isn't what it appears to be. So don't react immediately to the heartbreak, because don't even activate the heartbreak, because if you feel you learn something and that heartbreak feeling comes on, then you can be pretty much sure that what you are looking at or what you have heard or what you've learned, that's nowhere near the whole story. It's not what you think it is. It is appearing as something else, because Hecate here, this solution that I said is also a lie. There's the heartbreak, and therefore you have a solution for it. Try my solution on for size. Everybody will be happy, especially me. But nah. If the heartbreak and the event isn't what it appears to be, your solution will not fit. So when that heartbreak feeling is triggered, then really that's a warning that from that point, most of what you see, hear, or think, I mean, saying it's a lie is maybe over-egging the pudding. It's not what it appears to be. There's no reason for that heartbreak, and clarity can come if you're staying on your healing path, which is not, you're staying on your healing path, you're choosing your own way to protect yourself, is not what tradition demands. It's not what the done thing is. So what? It's, yes, listen to your feelings with these water nymphs here, but also be aware that some of them might still need cutting out. I'm feeling this, like this heartbreak. I'm feeling this heartbreak. Apart from I'm feeling this heartbreak about something that I know is not true or not what it appears to be. The downside of that is that there is a reactive state of happiness on offer. And when I say reactive, I mean, like, when someone goes through a really bad split up and they can end up in a rebound relationship. These cards here are taking a chance on a rebound relationship. But if that first relationship isn't over in your head, why would the rebound one work? That's a metaphor, not necessarily. So it's not necessarily a love reading, but it is a shape that will fit, because whatever causes that hurt isn't what it appears to be. So then throwing yourselves, for example, into the arms of another is based on a false premise, and tied up with all the emotional hoo-ha of having a rebound relationship. So your feelings are important, but what's more important is you gaining clarity on the situation and protecting yourself by going your own way. So the gods on your side, I don't think I've listed them. Jizo was support, Hecate, Chiron, I did, Artemis, Deity, and the nymphs. Bear in mind, the nymphs can lead you into the water, but you can also drown there. So there's a time to listen to the nymphs, and then there's a time just to step back. Yes, I can see all those feelings there, but since I don't know if they're based on anything real, let me get confirmation on what's real and what's not real first, and then I'll go and feel all those feelings. But right now, I don't know, because you're already on a mission. You're already started to do all this. So, if this means anything to you, Virgo, comment down below. Press the like button if the video was good for you, or subscribe. Obviously, it helps the channel. And hopefully, I will be live streaming on Saturday night, 6 p.m. GMT, ready for Monday/Tuesday's full moon, assuming I can still talk. So if not, astrologer David Fisher will be here to do all the talking for the pair of us. So join us then. See you later.